Fotosyntech. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Grower. And today we've got a different sort of guest for you. He's a bit newer to the game, a bit of a late bloomer, and recently discovered the awesome qualities of cannabis later in life when things became legal here in Canada. I'd like to welcome the rookie grower, TRG. Welcome to the show, dude.
Oh, thank you for having me. It's a great pleasure to be here.
Yeah, and the way that I know him, of course, I follow his channel and stuff, The Rookie Grower. Check it out.
Yeah.
And he's part of our Discord and whatnot. And I say ours because it's a community. And if you'd like to join, hit me up, fotosyntech1@gmail.com. I'd be happy to send you an invite. And if you like what I'm doing here, Patreon, link below. And don't forget sponsors, Mars Hydro. Good guys, sell great lights. Anyway, housekeeping aside, TRG, how you doing, man? How's it going?
I am doing fine. It's a good day. Got a couple of bags of vape on the go. We're getting elevated.
The only way to do it. Now you're on vacation this week. You're back from the cottage. That's correct. And you drove all the way just to do the show, or just you got some other stuff to take care of as well.
I have other stuff to take care of, but if it had just been for the show, I still would have came into town.
Hey, I'm honored. And definitely happy to have you here. So let's talk about it. Let's get into it. Let's talk about some growing and stuff. You're newer to the game. You've had a channel going for about 7 months now. You got a bunch of videos. That's the one thing I like about it is you've got that regular posting of content. You get those tips and tricks up there. You're telling people how it is, how it's going. You're trying to help others just like I do. And that's one of the reasons why I wanted to have you on, just to, get people aware of what you're doing.
Yeah, well, that was the main goal of my channel, was just for beginners, because when I first started, there wasn't many videos of people just mixing up soil. I didn't know how to mix up soil, but there's obviously a recipe to it. So
yeah,
beginners need to see that.
For sure. And you make it friendly and approachable. And that's great for any viewer. So let's step back a little bit. Tell me, a little bit about you, your life story, how you got to be growing.
Well, it goes back a little while. I was a pretty big person back in my past. I was probably bordered at 450 pounds.
Wow.
And that was most of my life. I was a big kid. I fought the weight all my life. And once I started getting into my late 20s, well, then all these things started with arthritis, diabetes, high blood pressure, just all the stress on my joints and stuff like that. So I started thinking about getting a gastric bypass.
Really?
And so I talked to my doctor about it. She was behind me 100%. So I found this place in the States, and it's called mini gastric bypass. So it was more evasive and wasn't as dangerous. So I got that done, followed what the doctors told me to do, lost the weight. Everything was great. But I was big for a long time. So that was very hard on my knees, my joints. Like I said, I have early stages of arthritis and stuff like that. So, and because of the surgery that I had, I can't take anti-inflammatories. So my question to my doctor has been over the years, well, what are we going to do when I get to the stage of my arthritis when I have to start taking stuff? And she never had an answer for me. So probably about a year before it was legalized in Canada, I talked to her. I said, look, I said, we got to come to some kind of plan. I said, because as I get older, my arthritis is going to get worse. And I suggested the cannabis. And right away, no, she doesn't believe in it. I said, okay, I can't force her to do it. So that's when I knew it was kind of going to be legalized. So I kept in my mind, so, okay, well, when it's legalized, I'll start buying it and I'll just start medicating myself. And as it came along, and next thing you know, I had a buddy that was starting to grow because it was legalized. I said, wow, I said, maybe I can grow my own too.
Anybody can?
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I did. I got all the equipment and started growing on my own. And then I found out about the ACMPR. So I applied for that to get my license. And ever since then, it's been on the go. I did about 3-4 different grows before I finally started my YouTube channel. And since then, I think I'm into my 3rd grow now. So besides that, that's about it. I've made mistakes along the way. And I try to keep true on my channel. I try to keep transparent. I show my mistakes. I show what I'm screwing up, the rookie mistake.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that's the thing. If I can get through a grow without making mistakes, I think I've probably just missed something.
Yeah.
So let's talk about your grow style. Break it down for me. Where'd you start? Where are you now? Synthetics, organics?
I started in soil, and I'm still in soil. I prefer soil. I can't ever see myself going to DWC. To me, that's super intimidating and it just looks complicated.
It's a machine,
and it might
yeah.
not be. I don't know. It might not be. I've never tried it. So anyways, but so my style right now is still evolving. Like I said, I still like to grow in the soil. Because of you, I'm getting ready to start transferring over to organic. So I'm going with the Gaia Green. Yes, I'm starting to collect all my Gaia Greens for my next run because I got about a month left in my run. And yeah, I'm just slowly picking that up, and we're going to organics. I've been talking to you about different equipment like blue mats and stuff like that, automation. So that's where my style's heading. Right now, I'm still in the soil, and I'm just finishing up my last grow like that.
Yeah, and I think a lot of growers find that eventually organics is going to be that attractive way to go because it's, well, you do all that work, over the course of a weekend, you get your grow set up, and then you just water. I love it.
Yeah,
Works for me.
yeah.
But, some people, they do synthetics and stuff. It's very approachable. You've got that recipe that you can follow quite easily. And there's a very large community out there that has quite a bit of history in growing with synthetics, but we definitely see the rise of organics.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of people using both now.
Yeah, for sure, experimenting. And hey, whatever works. That's the beauty about it.
Exactly. There's so many different ways.
Yeah, for sure. So then, TRG, what do you find has been probably the toughest lesson that you've learned so far?
My toughest lesson, patience.
That's a good one.
Just be patient. I think it's welcome to the grow tent. He says it all the time. Relax, and it's true. Just let the plants do what they got to do and just stay out of there, stay out of their way. And for myself, it was, I'm still bad at it for the watering. It's either overwatering or underwatering.
It's difficult. Watering is a tough thing to master. That's. I mean, you just touched on it. The blue mats, any sort of automated watering system are fantastic.
Yeah, well, that's why I want to aim towards that because I think I went from overwatering to now I'm underwatering.
Yeah. Oh, it's always something. Always got to be learning. Always got to be in there. Trying to figure out what's going on.
Absolutely.
Now, tell me about your favorite tool in the grow room. What are you reaching for and enjoying to use?
Yeah, well, I got the main one, which is you led me onto this one was Canopyclips. They're just terrific.
Love them.
Love them. Make it so much easier. Just and the tip that you gave me about only keeping them on for 48 hours, I didn't know that.
Yeah, and that's the beauty about it. I mean, for those unaware, it's a small plastic clip. They're 3D printed. You can buy them over on Etsy. I'll make sure there's a link down in the description. But you can train an entire plant in less than 5 minutes. And then it's just a matter of removing them a day or two later and training them again. Wonderful tool. And
I love it. I love it. And one again, for another good tool, again, is patience.
Absolutely. Well, and the plants, they just have to do their thing. You can't expect instant changes. Well, with the exception of maybe using Canopyclips in training. Hey, but no, it's patience for sure.
Yeah.
Now, what about pests? Have you had any major pest encounters? Is there anything you're doing in particular for IPM?
A couple of grows ago, I had a issue with gnats. And I used, you recommended it on your channel, was Dr. Doom.
Yep.
And I used that, and after a couple of days, they were gone. That was it. So and I used sticky traps, at the same time. So that was the only pest issue I've had to deal with so far. But as far as my IPM, I'm just, keeping the environment clean. You spill some dirt, sweep it up. Spill some water, wipe it up. Keep your environment clean. Just being vigilant, looking at your plants, looking if there's a problem with this one. What's on the leaf? Is there anything underneath it? Is something eating it? And again, like I said, the sticky traps, I have good airflow in there just to make sure that they can't settle. You should always be having good airflow. And then again, with diameticulous earth is a good one to go with.
Yeah, absolutely. I found that stuff worked really well for me with my current outdoor grow, of which when the plants first got out there, just wicked pest pressure. But, some diatomaceous earth and cucumaris because I had some thrips. And thrips are they're normal for my area. So instead of, waiting for them to show up, every 2 weeks I've been putting little sachets out there and getting them going. So what about outdoors? Are you doing anything outdoors? Have you done anything outdoors? Think about doing anything outdoors.
I did an outdoor last summer and it was pretty disastrous. But again, it's
learning experience.
Exactly, right? But it's because I was at the cottage, and in the cottage, I'm only there for 2 days out of the week usually, unless I'm on vacation. And 2 days a week, only taking care of your plants and being away for 5 days, it doesn't sit well with me, and it doesn't work.
Yeah.
Because every time I would come back, something was going on, and it was too late for me to take care of the problem. So I decided to stay indoors, and with my license, that's what I put, that I was only be growing indoors. So for now, it's indoors.
Right on, right on.
Yeah.
And I mean, the nice thing too about Canada is you've got your medical side and your recreational side. So,
Yeah,
of course, if you still wanted to grow outdoors, they're
absolutely.
recreational plants.
That's
So,
right. I can throw 4 outside if I want.
you betcha, you
Yeah.
betcha. We got it good here up north. Hopefully, it gets better down south.
Yeah.
And there's been a
Yeah.
lot of stuff in the news lately. What are your thoughts on legalization? Is that something that our American brethren are going to see soon?
I think they will. I don't know if
Yeah.
it's going to be like next week or anything like that, but
No.
they're fighting the fight, and it's happening. And once I think the states is fully legalized, then you'll see laws open up. You know what I mean? Like right now, we can only go to the store and buy an ounce, right? Where if you go to the beer store, you can get 10 cases of beer. And that
Yeah.
blows my mind. So there's got to be some kind of balance in between. So I figure once the states is all legalized, and you know how the Americans like their stuff, right?
Yeah.
They want their beer, they want their pot. They don't want to go in just for a little ounce. They want 5 ounces.
Hey, don't we all, right? And
Yeah,
I think
exactly.
full legalized means full normalized, and that's ultimately
Yeah,
what we're hoping
absolutely.
for. Uh, what are you doing? Anything to help overcome the stigma in your life? Do you deal with people? Do you know anybody that looks down upon you? I mean, you talked about your doctor there before.
Yeah, well, I find she hasn't looked down on me. She just didn't agree with it.
Yeah.
But for I'm pretty open about it ever since I started growing. Well, ever since I really started the YouTube channel,
Yeah.
there's no sense me being an advocate for cannabis and then hide it. So
Exactly.
so all my old friends that thought I never would have, I thought I never would have did this, but and they're kind of shocked by it. And I say, hey, it's not the big bad drug that we were led to believe it was.
No.
It's really not.
Well, it's a healthy
Yeah,
medicine, especially
yeah,
when you can, well, ideally find the perfect cultivar that's going to suit your specific needs. I mean, you talked about pain, arthritis, that sort of thing.
yeah.
Is there anything in particular, any strains that you found so far that are really helping more than others? Something that you would be calling a favorite to grow, for example?
Um, the two that have I found helped myself and my wife. My wife takes as well because she has fibromyalgia.
Okay.
So was the one that I talked to you on Discord about was the Chocolope, and that she got good results from that. And the other one is Pink Kush. So I haven't grown them yet. I've only bought them. So I'm looking forward to growing them in the future.
For sure, for sure. So, are you planning then on doing some sort of pheno hunt, multiple runs, see what works best?
Eventually, once I start getting more tents involved into the situation here, I'm only
Yeah,
running one tent right now. So
never enough space, is there?
no, it's crazy.
So, what would you say has been your proudest moment growing so far?
Proudest moment was probably my first grow. It
Yeah.
was actually my best harvest. I don't know if it was just beginner's dumb luck or whatever, but ever since then I had that sophomore more jinx where it's like my second grow didn't go so well, my third
Yeah.
grow didn't go so well. Then my fourth grow, I had 6 out of 7 plants end up being males.
Oh no!
Yeah, it's like, oh, come on.
Sausage
So
party.
this current grow is going well, knock on
Yeah.
wood.
Yeah, for sure, for sure. And no, that's the thing. I mean, you touched on it earlier, talking about patience and just taking it easy. I
Yeah,
think that first grow, a lot of people find doesn't go too bad, unless you really do something funny with synthetic nutrients and
yeah,
don't flush your plants, between feedings.
yeah,
It's just you're not overthinking it. But then you've got a grow done. It's like, okay, well, I'm an experienced grower. I'm going to try something. I'm going to make a couple changes.
exactly.
And
Yeah,
then all of a sudden, like you say, you get that jinx. And I agree. I mean, it
yeah,
was very similar for me. My very first grow went better than I thought it would.
yeah.
And then, I've had issues and failures and learning and learning and learning. But eventually things kind of stabilize. And that's the best part.
Yeah, I know I'll get there because that's just how I am with things, or I scrutinize them right down to I get everything into a routine. So I know I'm going to get there.
And it just takes time. It takes,
Yeah,
well, that routine, figuring out what's going on when things are changing. And,
yeah,
I've said it before on the show here, as an indoor grower, you're very much faced with the seasons
mhm,
because, things are changing outside and it
that's
affects
right.
how things work inside.
Oh, absolutely. Because even here we've been getting rain, tons of rain for the past few weeks, and it's the RH in my house is just through the roof.
Yeah. How have you been dealing with things in the grow?
Um, you know, with the equipment,
Best you can.
I had to buy a new inline fan because that was going on me. So that's one reason my RH was going up. So
Ah,
I got to get it installed. I'm waiting for the ducting to come in because they didn't have the right size, so they had to special order it for me.
Always something. And
So yeah,
that's, I think, a really good tip to new growers is once you've gotten your equipment stabilized, determine where the failure areas may be, and if there's
that's
something
right.
that you can have sitting on the shelf just in case. Like I've got
Just
a
in
spare
case.
humidifier
Yeah,
throughout the winter because my room really needs to be humidified, but
yeah,
it is what it is.
yeah,
Let's
absolutely.
talk about what you're currently working on. I mean, I was watching the episode just before I came on here, just to
Yeah, yeah,
get up to speed. But
nice.
let's tell the people what's going on
Sure.
in the grow room.
Right now, I got 3 strains of Maui Wowie growing and 3 strains of Tropic Lightning, and I got about a month and a half left before they're ready to be harvested. So, and it's actually been a decent run. I've had a couple of them that were stressed throughout the whole grow. I couldn't figure it out. They're still stressed. They were stressed right from seedlings. So it's just one of
Oh,
those things.
yeah. Sometimes you just get that one plant that's a really heavy feeder, or
Yeah,
a bit of a drama queen, as I've
yeah,
called them
yeah.
in the past.
Yeah, so I just decided to let them go, and whatever they are, and then maybe I'll use them for butter or for oil or something like that.
Hey, you can always find something to do. I mean,
Yeah.
there's definitely more than one way to enjoy the fine product that we do grow.
Oh, absolutely.
So, in your experience so far, what do you think not enough people know about or could be doing more of when they're growing cannabis?
Again, we'll go back to the watering.
Yeah.
That's so basic for the beginner, right? It's so easy to just start over watering because I know I did it. It's like you go in every day. Oh, it needs more water. No, no, no. Stop. We
Yeah.
know, give them a good soaking, let them dry out.
Oh, totally. Well, but so that's the thing too, because I've recently done a couple of videos on this. Once you get over the organics, it changes, and
Yeah,
I've actually found a lot of people aren't aware of how much of a change it is for going organic. You suddenly have this fish tank of a system
yeah,
that you need to maintain in a much higher level, and I mean, moisture is really the only thing that you need to do to maintain it. But that in
yeah,
itself can be tricky. So again, some sort of automated watering system or just getting into that routine can be very helpful.
absolutely.
So, what's something that you wish you could have told yourself right back when you were starting? What's one piece of advice you really could have used at the beginning?
Uh, I think more take not to take it so seriously, but to take it pay attention. Just don't. It's not a breeze to walk through the park. Just pay attention to what's going on. Don't scrutinize, but just and be patient.
Yeah.
Because I know back then I wasn't patient, and sometimes I'm still not, especially at the seedling stage. I'm like, come on, let's go.
I got a bunch of beans sitting there that I popped like yesterday. And it's like, "No, where are you? Come on.
Yeah, exactly.
So, and then of course you're getting in there. Well, do they need any assistance and
Yeah,
whatnot?
yeah. They're like,
Yeah.
no, get out of here. Leave us alone.
The joys of being the plant daddy. I know it's good
Absolutely.
times. It's good
Yeah.
times. So, what about products? Is there something out there that you feel everybody should be using? Something you found to be super helpful in the grow?
Yeah, I think there was a couple. Again, we already talked about it, the canopy clips
Yeah.
and like a trellis net. Trellis net does wonders. Something I haven't implemented a lot yet because I only have one of those tents with just the one door,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's a pain once you set everything in the net. You're crawling under to do any kind of trimming and watering and stuff like that. So I've kind of held off
Yep.
on the trellis net, but the canopy clips for sure. Those are lifesavers.
Oh, definitely. And
Yeah,
I've often found that, you don't really need to necessarily trellis if you do have the clips to help spread your plant out.
yeah,
Although eventually you might need something hanging from the ceiling to help support them or bamboo stakes. Because,
yeah,
if you're doing it right, those buds are getting heavy and things are starting to fall over.
yeah.
You were talking about that in a recent video, how you were having to change up some watering practices.
Yeah, because they're getting so big that when I start moving them, they're starting to fall over. So I'm keeping them in the tent. I'm just doing it with my spray. And I went to the 5 to 10% method for whatever for a 5 gallon pot. So I was
Yeah.
watering half a gallon or whatever it was.
Yeah, every couple of
Yeah,
days and just keep them
yeah,
moist and keep them
that's right.
happy and
Yeah.
whatnot. Oh, that's awesome. So I guess where can we find you online? I mean, we talked about it. Your channel is The Rookie Grower. Is
Yes.
Instagram anywhere else?
Yeah, I'm on Instagram at the with underscore rookie grower, all underscore, or I mean, sorry, lowercase. And then I'm on Twitter at the rookie grower, all capital.
Awesome,
Yeah,
awesome.
yeah.
Now tell me, in your dealings with buying new gear and trying to research and figure things out, is there something that the industry could have done to have made that easier for you?
I was thinking about this one, and it's like I think education. Education for the new growers, you know, about the equipment. Like, you need this, and this is why. Not just, here, you need this. Or, you know, for equipment that you don't really need, well, you don't need this, but if you get it, it could do this for you. So just that kind of education, whereas, you know, they're just handing you a grow kit and here you go. You don't know what kind of light you got. You don't know what kind of tent you got. You don't know, you don't know anything. So
yeah, it's tough too, because there's so many choices, and you get on Amazon and there's the cheap stuff, and
that's right.
You know, how do you know, as a you know, new person into the scene, what works well for you?
Absolutely.
Any companies that you really like, companies that you've bought stuff off of and thought, hey, this is really great, they've really hit the mark with this?
Not yet, because I'm still going with my original equipment that I got, which was all kind of not the best. I just bought it. Yeah, exactly. It's lasted me 3 years. So I just bought an AC Infinity T6 for my exhaust fan. So I'll know more about that once I get it installed. And I just put an Inkbird sensor in my tent to see how that's going to work.
Yeah, I dig the Inkbird stuff. You know, definitely allows you to keep an eye on the grow when you're away from the house. You do have to typically buy a little piece of what's a gateway, I think they call it, for the Bluetooth to connect to. Yeah, but great stuff when you do have it up and running.
Absolutely. Yeah.
All right there, TIG. Well, we're getting to the end of the interview here, and definitely a pleasure chatting with you. I have one more question. What do you think the next big thing can, and pardon me if I could talk properly, what do you think the next big thing in cannabis is going to be?
I'm hoping that, as we talked about, once everything's legalized, all the places are legalized, that we start seeing more like craft cannabis. You know, like how we see craft beer, where people can go brew their own beer or their own wine. You know, like a facility where, let's say you just live in a small apartment, you don't have the room to grow. Well, you can go there and rent one of their grow rooms and do a grow. You know what I mean?
That'd be a neat idea.
Yeah.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. You know,
security staffed and whatnot.
Oh, yeah. And then if you don't know what you're doing, you can have them grow it for you, or you can be the primary grower if you want, like however you want to run
it. The rent to grow facilities. There you go. Here first. TRG going to put
that's right. Copyright it.
Nice. I dig it, man. Hey, why not? And craft cannabis is a great idea. I'm just starting to hear now of some of these farm to table, I guess, for lack of a better term, that are popping up in Ontario as well. So hopefully we see a bit more of that, but not so much aimed at like the LPs and the bigger guys, aimed at, you know, guys like myself and you with our ACMPR license who are producing really good medical products for possible patients. And absolutely. Not to make a buck, just to get the medicine out there, man. I mean,
exactly.
All right, sir. Well, hey, it's been an absolute pleasure chatting with you today. Definitely enjoyed having you on the show.
Oh, it was a pleasure for myself as well. Thank you for having me.
All right. And guys, go check him out. He's on the Instagram. He's on the YouTube. And if you get on the Discord, you can come and chat with him yourself.
Yeah.
All right, sir. Well, thanks so much for stopping by, Rookie. And guys, we out.